Let's create a calculation that determines the age of each contact. Calculating age in years, months, and days is quite complicated, so I'm going to copy it from the FileMaker reference. And if you remember correctly, we covered the FileMaker reference at the beginning of this tutorial in Chapter 1. It's a locked solution that you won't have access to, so if you try to open it, it's going to say, do you want to purchase it? But what I'm going to do is every time I grab something from it, I'm going to give it to you. So don't worry about it. Anything I show you inside of here, such as the calculation sections, which we're going to now, I'll give to you. So go into the examples, I'll go into find mode, I'll type in age, and we're going to get this age formula. You can see it's quite complicated. Here's a part for years, here's a part for months, and here's a part for days. Now, if you want this whole formula, you really do need the practice in typing it in, so I'm going to recommend you type this in. But if you just want the part that we're going to use, which is the years portion, then it's going to be inside the work files. This you'll have to pause and type in if you want. So I'm going to copy that portion. We'll go ahead and hide this window, go back to our contacts. We'll go into Manage Database, and we'll make our age calculation. There we go, create it. Remember the result is text because it has the word years in it, and then we'll paste. First thing I'm going to do is take off this comma space at the end. We don't need that because we don't have months and days also. And then I'm going to put some returns in so it's easier to read. Hit a couple returns there. I'll hit a couple returns here. Hit a couple there. This close paren refers to this open paren right there. And then let's see where else. We'll get the case statement on its own line. I'll put this back up here. I think that makes sense for me. And then we'll put this up here. And that looks good to me. You can see where everything is. Here's one portion, here's another portion, here's another portion, the whole case statement. Here's what's surrounding it. I think this works out, but again, you have to develop your own style here, what works for you. So let's go over this formula. So the first thing we see is we see get as number. It's got an open parentheses and a close parentheses. That's just so we can convert anything that's in there to number. It's not really necessary most of the time with FileMaker, but it's a safety mechanism to make sure we see a number here. So let's go on to this. This is more important. It says get the year from the current date. Well, that's simple enough. Subtract that from the year of the date of birth. In most cases, that formula is going to give you the right age of the person in years. The problem happens is, what if the current date is in January and their birthday is not till March? Well, this would actually give you that he's 1 year older, and you don't want that. So that's what this does down here, but we don't want to forget that we have get current date in here. And if we want this age to update as the date changes, not as we change the date of birth, because frankly, how many times are you going to type the date of birth in? Probably once. So if you want this to update as the date in the system changes, you have to make it unstored. Just check this do not store right here. Now it makes it unstored, so you can't really search. Well, you can search it, but it'll be slow. But it'll make it update so that when the person churns 82, you know it. It says it in the database. They don't stay 81 because the only way you could get it to update was to change this. So that's the unstored idea there for you. So again, this will work in most situations, but you could be 1 year off depending on where the birth date and the current date month are. So that's what we're doing here. We're saying if the current date is less than, and then we're using this big long date function right here. We're saying, and the date function wants a month, a day, and a year. You can provide it in any way we want. We provided it this way. We said take the month from the date of birth, take the day from the date of birth, but take the year from the current date. That makes it so that we know the date of birth is in the current year as well as the current date. That way we can compare the month and the day together to see which one's greater. And depending on that, we're either going to subtract 1 or 0. Because remember, there's a subtraction here. So either we take 1 year off or take no years off. And then we concatenate on years and we're set. Simple little formula. Maybe not so simple, but we're starting to get more complicated here. And since I don't want this to be searched since it's unstored, I'm going to really put it on the layout as a merge field. So we'll go ahead and insert a merge field. We'll go find our age field. There we go. And I'm going to make this stand out a little bit. First I'm going to put it over here. Line it up. Remember that little guideline you can line things up with. Make it a little bit bigger in case somebody's 100 years old. I'm going to make it stand out by changing the color here. Going to choose this blue color here. And I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and browse it. 83 years. So that looks pretty good. Let's see what another record looks like. 59 years. So it looks like it's working properly, and there's your age calculation. But again, you can't search that, so we're going to show you in the next section how to go ahead and search for birthdays.